Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of the URC. This one, the Sharks taking on Connacht. We've just seen the Lions taking on Benetton. It was a high-scoring fixture, so hopefully this one will be no different, and we do get to see some very impressive action between these two sides. But what I will quickly do is I will show you guys exactly who's in the starting lineup and reserves for both of these sides. First of all, we will look through at the home side, the Sharks, and they are as follows: Oxnashare, Bongi Manumbi, and Thomas the Toy as the front row. Then LaRue Roots does slot in at number 4, the big man, and then not Johan Grubbeler. It is instead Gerbrand Grubbeler, who is there at number 5. Sia Khaleesi there at 6, Hinko Fenta, and then Pepsi Butalazy slotting in at number 8. Jaden Hendrickson and Kerwin Bosch will be the 19 combo. Marius Lowe, Ben Tupawai, then Makazole Mapimpi, Werner Koch, and also Apalele Fassi as the back three. Then looking through now at the side of Benetton, not Benetton, Connacht. They are the away side for this game. Buckley Heffernan and Finley Bealham will be the front row for this one. Thornberry, and also it is going to be in at the number 5 jersey, Fifita. Sorry, that was a shocker, wasn't it? It is currently 2 a.m. here in New Zealand, so my brain might be running a little bit slow. Then it is going to be Prendergast, then Connor Oliver, and then Jared Butler slotting in at number 8. Then at number 9, it will be Blade Conor Fitzgerald. At number 10, then in the combo of the midfield, Tom Daly, Tom Farrell, 2 Toms in this lineup. And then Porch out on one wing, Woodton out on the other. And then the youngster, Mackenzie Hansen, did absolutely go wonderful for Ireland in the Six Nations very recently. He will be slotting in as the fullback for this match. But these are the benches, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who is curious about who will be where for this matchup and who the replacements are. I see Jack Carty is there, also Grant Williams. He will be an injury one. I see that the coverage has just begun now here in New Zealand, which is great to see. And it is going to be played in South Africa. Every game that has been played in South Africa, the South African sides have been looking pretty good, whereas the same could be said about every game that was played in the Northern Hemisphere in favour of the Northern Hemisphere side. So it's a bit strange at the moment. It's pretty much whoever's got a home final, I feel, will be able to do very well in this matchup. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who you think will be able to win this match, and also who you think will be able to score the first try. I am just quickly putting this in the middle of my screen so I can see it. There we go. We are all good to go. And we are ready for this match between Sharks and Connacht. So whoever wins this game will be able to continue building their momentum towards that home final, or possibly just being in the top 8 would be a massive opportunity for both sides. 24 degrees Celsius, 24 kilometers of wind, 24, very common number at the moment here between these two sides, and 54% humidity. Lottie Smith is going with a draw. And the thing is, a draw doesn't really benefit anyone, does it? I guess, it's a couple points, but both sides would love to be able to get themselves a big win here. I've got Suncorp Stadium in the background, by the way. I decided that it was quite a nice one. And also, it looks like I can hang on to a bar up there, other than the fact that that didn't quite work out because my hands were around the wrong way. But at the moment, the Sharks side, they are showing them they're a strong lineup, and they will be looking to continue that South African dominance in South Africa. The big thing here is going to be, there's a game happening straight after this one. The Stormers taking on Leinster, and that will be a massive matchup. Leinster still going with a slightly inexperienced side, but this game is all the same. And at the moment, I'm looking at Finley Bealham in that starting lineup for the Connacht side. And also we've got their draw give Sharks number 2, and there's Lottie Smith. So yeah, the Sharks will be trying to build up as quickly as they physically can for the last few rounds that they have got available. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do out here on the field, because they have got a very talented lineup. O'Halloran off the bench is going to be a good one. Connacht to prevail with Hansen having a pearl at number 15. Says Asho, like it a lot. Mackenzie Hansen for Ireland, he was sensational in the recent times, and I'm hoping he can make quite an impact in this game also. But now Connacht about to make their way out there. Okay, that's a stat and a half. So Connacht, at this stage, if they win this game, they could be the only side to win every single game against South African opposition. So that would be huge, definitely for the Connacht side to try and keep on building themselves up. But Jared Butler, he is going to be the captain for this game. He has had a lot of meters made throughout this. The top 8 will change over this weekend. And there's Greg Galway. Geez, that's a shiner already. One of the Connacht players has got a black eye and a half. I think that is, I want to say it's number 1. I'm just going to make sure that I've got the right name there. I think that was Dave Heffernan. No, that might have been Dennis Buckley. I'm going Dennis Buckley. Final answer. We'll lock that one in. But now Oxnashare, watch out for that 50-metre sign. Someone might end up tripping over on it. But Thomas the Toy, he's a very happy man at the moment. 16 appearances this season. He is the captain, and he has made 127 tackles throughout this season, which is absolutely huge. Bongi on Manambi fired up as always. The Sharks rearing to go for this matchup and would absolutely love to get themselves another win here up against a Northern Hemisphere side. I feel like that rivalry is starting to build more and more as we get closer to the quarterfinal stages, which are only a few weeks away. Mike Adamson from Scotland will be in charge of this game. He is going to be 61st game that they have just said. This game is the first of two that we are going to be covering on the channel. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And the other information that I have got for you guys is we are also doing the sevens. And the stilted home thing was guaranteed wet and windy vs hot altitude, or wet and windy versus hot and altitude. Yeah, so it's two completely different conditions, even though same time zone, different way of playing. And I'm wondering how it's going to affect those quarterfinal matchups. Are we going to get to see any underdogs? And I feel like it's now more than ever how important a home advantage is. Because if they get it right and you get that home advantage, you shouldn't lose. But you never know. But the Sharks going to be kicking off this game now. Get us underway between the Sharks and Connacht, going to be taken nicely by Connacht there. I am quickly moving me tabs. That's gone very wide for some reason. One moment, we'll go like this. And we will go like this. There we go. We have got it where we want it to be, which is very useful indeed. But it's kicked up high, taken very nicely by Pepsi Butler. Lazy playing as if he was a back for the early stages, trying to get straight on the ball. I believe it is the man with the shiner, Dennis Buckley. And able to turn it over. Hendricksa now goes back across to the big hands of Thomas Dutoy. Ball put high from Upper Lelefasi, just trying to put a little bit of pressure on the winger for Connacht. That's going to be knocked on from Makazole Mapimpi, though. And I believe this is almost the first game for Connacht we've ever covered on the channel, or one of the very first anyway. I'm just going to quickly fact check that to make sure that I have got the right information. But I think this is their first ever Connacht game on the channel, which feels like quite a monumental occasion. I bet you they've played someone else that we've covered, and I'm probably just really wrong. Oh, no, okay. We did one in 2021, Leicester Tigers versus Connacht. That is the only time that we have ever done a game involving Connacht. So that's quite a wee way away, or quite a wee while ago. My mouth didn't want to do the mouth movements there. And big love, says Sebastian. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are excited for the South African side of things. And also, I mean, you're going to be buzzing no matter what. Romania are in the World Cup. The men have been able to make their way through. I said cup very weird there, but I'm quite excited at the moment for some late night rugby. The Sharks have been able to get this ball back. Now Gurbaran Grubala trying to make his way straight through, and is unable to do so. Now backline movement, Kerwin Bosch. Flat pass, not the best one. Up Lefasi does end up knocking it on, and our Connacht will have themselves another scrum feed. Like I mentioned, if Connacht win this game, they will be the only side that have been able to beat all of their South African opposition, which is just a huge stat because it's not very easy to do, I wouldn't think. Definitely not playing in South Africa. You're always going to be up against it with the altitude and the extra little bit of heat. It's currently 24 degrees at the ground by Upper Lelefasi, making the early mistake. And now Connacht do have the scrum feed. And also we have got there, does any team in the URC beat Leinster in Dublin? It's tricky. Full strength Leinster, I assume we are talking there. And see, I feel like the only teams that can beat Leinster in their home ground is an Irish team. I don't think South Africa can beat Leinster at home. And that's just me thinking, in terms of the whole different conditions, maybe a Munster or Ulster, I think are the two sides that I would say have got the best chance, but it's not going to be very easy at all for them. Connacht now around the side, continuing to recycle this ball. No Bundy keep for this game for Connacht, who was actually the one who I had in my thumbnail all that time ago. Little push in the back from Makazole Mapimpi. Knock on now from Connacht. And it is a bit of a stop, start for this match. And also, it's not easy. And when you're the punching bag, but still the happiest of the bunch. That's how we Romanian rugby fans are right now. See Sebastian there. See, that's the thing. It's just being there, though, isn't it? Getting to be at the World Cup. It's going to be absolutely huge for them. And if they can pull off an upset win against Scotland or someone like that, it's just massive for the Romanians. And the thing is, they got a decent chance in some of those matchups. I know they're up against South Africa. That's not going to be very easy at all. But the way that Romania are developing as a rugby nation, a lot of these smaller countries are at the moment, if they keep on playing the way that they are, they might actually have a half by decent chance of being able to cause an upset or two. Now, Jaden Hendrickson feeds the ball in for the Sharks. Off the back, Pepsi Butler, I should say. Now, Kerwin Bosch, nice little offload. That's going to be a knock on now. Oh, no, we've got another scrum. This is going to be a scrum battle by the looks of it. We're 4 minutes in and we've already had about 4 scrums. And that's one a scrum a minute at this point in time. Hopefully not too many more, though. If we do have too many more, then I might have to go to sleep. No, we won't go to sleep. We have got Leinster versus the Stormers just around the corner. And then the women's sevens is coming here. And that will be from Langford in Canada. So we are going to be covering New Zealand's games other than the first one, as that does overlap. I mean, we beat Tonga last year by 12. We have a decent chance against them. That's very true. I actually see Romania as favourite in that game up against Tonga, although it also depends on how many Tongan players from overseas get added into that Tongan side of whether or not they are able to qualify. I know that Malakai Fekitoa, I think, just misses out. Same with Lima Sopawanga for another player. That's going to be now scrum reset. At the moment, is set piece simulator between these two sides. Mike Adamson asking for a bit of balance between the two sides. That eye is really buggered. And I don't know whether or not it was in the warm-ups or maybe he got it last week, but Dennis Buckley does not look too flash, and I hope you're not playing down in the south near the Spanish border. Says Flesh in there. Yeah, of course, Spain, they won't be too happy about the recent World Cup, but hopefully they do all right in the sevens to make up for it, which is actually coming up this year, Sevens World Cup. Do you think Romania would ever try sevens, Sebastian? You think you'd ever go down the sevens route as a country? You let me know, but now it's going to be passed off the back. It's a low ball, and it wasn't the easiest one from Blade, but he has been able to just keep it on the side of Connacht. Counter ruck from the Sharks. It's a penalty to Connacht there. It's not our fault. Fletch and bloody idiots. Can't believe they did it again. Says Sebastian there as well. Kerwin Bosch, I think he has been penalised alongside Henko Fenta. Did end up leaving his feet. He's actually been penalised for crawling, which is quite a fun one. Get penalised for. I feel like it's the least scariest thing that you can get penalised for in a game of rugby. Like not releasing, that sounds, I guess, slightly intimidating. Hands in the ruck, that's not releasing. What else is there? Offside, crawling. Just a bit of crawling from Kerwin Bosch. And the only sevens Romanians are the fruit machine ones. And there, says Sebastian. Gotta love a fruit machine, eh? I remember at one of the local pubs way back in the day, you used to be able to get those like cards, you know, the ones that you open up, what's in it, and then it would be like pictures of fruit. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I got 3 bananas. I win $1, which the machine costs 50 cents, so bonus. And did during COVID. And Connacht, or Treviso, did during COVID. And Connacht in there, says Flesh. And now it's going to be available once again, passing off the back. Finley Bealham, the big man, and number 3 for this game. It'll be ready to go. Good attack and run. Number 12, it looks so weird not seeing Bundy Arki there. Instead, it's Tom Daly for this matchup. They got another penalty for Connacht. Right, it looked like he was going to take it quickly there, Blade, but instead, I believe they will take on the 3 points and get themselves an early lead up against the Sharks. This one now. Conor Fitzgerald will be taking on this kick, but LaRue Roots, is he penalised for crawling as well? No, I think he was penalised for something a little bit worse than that, which was not rolling away. Got stuck in there. Tell you what, the referee was quick to blow the whistle there for that one, but now it is going to be Fitzgerald straight out in front of the sticks. 20 metres out. Should be a nice, easy warm-up kick, I guess you could say, for him in this one, but I'll go like this, and we will go like this as well. And also we have got there, Sebastian, I know, a bloody amateurs, but you point their mistake out, but you did point their mistake out, says Fleshin, for that one. Like, it's that whole thing of, like, what is it? Fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, something else. I can't remember the saying, but pretty much they shouldn't have done it first time. They shouldn't have done it the second time. And now they're not allowed to take part in the World Cup. And also very true, says Flesh, and also there from Sebastian. Now 22 metres out from the line. Sebastian, you're a bit of a wrestling fan, are you? A little bit. Watch a bit of it. Do you watch NXT out of any chance? Do let me know. But currently now it's going to be kicked down to 22 metres out from the line. And it's going to be taken nicely by John Porch out on the right wing for this game. Now Blade fires it back across. Going to be using the big man for Feta. Does make a meter. Hey, that rhymes. Now going to be going for the box kick. More than likely for Blade. which doesn't really rhyme with too much other than Henry Slade, who is not playing in this game because he plays for the Exeter Chiefs, taken very nicely by Pepsi Buta Lazy once again. And I was like, hi, says Amelia, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Did you enjoy that Rebels game up against Moana Pacifica? Do let me know, what was the atmosphere like at the ground? It would have been a pretty awesome one, I would think, near the end of that game. Thomas the Toy now going back around the side, and don't ask GW Bush about Fool Me Once. He doesn't know it either. Says Usho 17 there. See, that's the thing. I often try and quote things and then realize I don't actually know the quotes. And normally, because you think of them in your head, like you don't normally say them. So realize that halfway through, what is the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Is it shame on you or shame on me? And also we have got there, I like Nikita Lyons. I mean, I really like her, mate, says Sebastian. The thing is, every time I listen to NXT, they're always like on social media, she is just like, everyone absolutely adores her. And then like, I remember who goes on social media, like a majority of the time. This isn't aimed at you, by the way, but it's like, yep, I can understand why. She is quite a popular one. Did you see Dakota Kai got released? Our Kiwi that was in the WWE, now gone. And also, hello, Amelia, says Sebastian. And also, I swear the Rebels just going to give me a heart attack. I'm not happy with Ray Nu'u because that's the second game straight that he's received a red. Yeah, only just come back from a suspension. That's a penalty to Connacht inside of their 22, by the way. But yeah, only just coming back from a 3-week suspension that he got dropped down to 2 weeks because he took some disciplinary course on how to tackle, comes back, does the same mistake. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets suspended for 4 or 5 weeks now because of his little mistakes that he has been making. But I mean, it's one of those ones, if you keep on doing it, you're going to keep on getting yourself penalized, unfortunately. And it just seems to be one of those ones that if you do keep on doing it, the referees are going to know that it's you who's going to do it. Was that a sentence? Maybe. It wasn't too bad a one anyway. It was good work in the air from Matt Hansen getting up high. And then Vernicock just ended up not quite getting his hands on the ball first. Instead, had them down on the ground. And also, man, nearly cost us that game. And I went full on willing. I was full on willing to blame him for it if we lost it, says Amelia. Yeah, it was a close one. Did you, by any chance, know the result of the Crusaders versus Waratahs while you were at the ground? Because I assume you would have almost been heading there while that game was kind of coming to its close, or it's crescendo. Is crescendo the end or the start? It's one of the two. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's the saying. I know there was some sort of you and me in there somewhere along the side. It's like the Barney song, isn't it? How he tells everyone how much he loves them and how much they love him. That seems very egotistical from Barney the dinosaur, I'll be honest. Doesn't sound like he quite, like, very arrogant, I guess you'd say, for him. Although saying that, if you're a talking dinosaur that's still alive, you probably have something over the rest of the dinosaurs, so you can have a bit of arrogance to you. This is what happens when we do a 2 a.m. live stream. We're going to talk about some weird stuff, ladies and gentlemen, so buckle those seatbelts and, I guess, enjoy the ride. I was like, yeah, I heard about it. Good on the Waratahs. Shark Blues. Sharks go to number 8. Wow. Really? Is that how close this competition are? I'm going to have a quick look at the table because that would be absolutely huge for them. Like, to go from, if they win this game, you're in second, to if you lose this game, you're going down to 8th. That's a big drop. As currently France versus England taking place in the Women's Six Nations. It looks like they aren't doing too badly at all for the English women. And also, at least one of my teams can do something right. And there says Amelia kicking this one. Curling Bosch, he's got it over. No, he hasn't. That's at the post. That one just slowly kept on curling away, and it has gone dead now for the 22 dropout. I believe it will be. But yeah, currently the table, the way that it sits, is the Sharks are sitting in 5th place. So yeah, if they do win this, they go up to 3rd. Unless, of course, it's a bonus point win. No, actually, they still will go up to only 3rd. And then if they lose this game, they will currently get to sit here. But if anyone else below them wins their game, they could end up dropping a little bit further down. But it's kicked off now for Fitzgerald. Kicks it long and kicks it high. Taken nicely by Kerwin Bosch. Will now put up the box kick and return fire with Vernicock. And also, I believe there was Apalele Fassi. It's a penalty to the Sharks. Right, this one will be a little bit easier for him if he wants it. Although Jaden Hendrickson, well, in fact, sorry. Yeah, no, Jaden Hendrickson. I was thinking of Jordan Hendrickson, but of course plays for the Lions. And the Lions are able to get themselves a win over Benetton, which was a good win because Benetton started this match very well. And that is, if there is win 4, and there it says a Lottie. Yeah, currently the Stormers, they've got a big game coming up against top of the table Leinster. If they win this next game, they will be able to push themselves above of the Bulls and also above of Munster, depending on how much they win it by. And if they get that bonus point, it would be absolutely huge for them. And Ponefa Amasili got the biggest cheers when he came on at the beginning of the second half, says Amelia. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen that man in action. Then he got that HIA, and I thought it was all over once again. I thought we were going to have to wait a few more months or maybe a month or so before we get to see him again. But he came back out, and he did look very strong. And the process now, Kerwin Bosch, he has been able to get that kick over. And the score will be 3-3 between these two sides after 14 minutes. A bit of a slow build-up to this matchup, but we knew these sides were going to be relatively even for the early stages, both playing that physical rugby and also getting that kicking battle going. See who can get themselves just a little bit more of the advantage. And also the draw the best. And there as well says Lottie. So the draw for the Sharks, that would help them out. Connacht currently sitting on 36 points. So if they won this game, they would move up to 40. They'd still be outside of the top. So I don't think Connacht can really do too much other than stop them from being able to get through. But the thing is that I find quite interesting is we've got the last round in 21 days. Then they've got 2 weeks off before the next round. So because of that, it means that you could have quite a bit of time off depending on what competitions are going on. I know that the Champions Cup will be about as well for Leinster. But next year, the Sharks, they might be able to find themselves in that Champions Cup as well, or the Challenge Cup, going head-to-head with a couple other European sides. Ever thought of Sharks versus someone like Toulouse? Could be a possibility. In the near future, Jaden Henderson, another nice exit from the 22. He does get it down to halfway now, and it will be the line out for Connacht. The 3-3 in the early stages. This game has flown by. 15 minutes does not feel like 15 minutes. It's felt like 5. And these two teams have the worst goal-kicking success rate in the URC this season. The Sharks successful 17.3% of the time, and Connacht 69.9% of the goals they are able to kick. So that's not a good stat to have for either of these sides. So both the worst kickers. So you'd have to wonder, Kerwin Bosch, he's supposed to be pretty decent. But I guess it just ends up going wrong. I know a lot more about Bosch's kicking than Conor Fitzgerald. I haven't really seen too much of his kicking in the past. And also, I normally don't tend to blame losses on the ref or specific players. But if the Rebels lost, as I said, I'm going to blame Ray Nu'u for it. I was going to be pretty ticked off about a win as a win. Exactly right. They have done very nicely now. It's going to be offloaded back for Connacht. Wide cutout pass. He tried to pass it to the touchy. And that was Tom Farrell just getting that one slightly wrong. Currently, the Sharks, they don't seem like they're rushing into it too much. They're making sure they wait for the perfect time to be able to attack the Leinster, or not the Leinster, the Connacht boys. I'm going to be mixing up my Irish teams quite a bit throughout this one, I would think, just because of the fact that, I've been watching a lot of Irish rugby for the Rugby Sevens, and that's just Ireland. It was a lot easier. But, of course, as well, Ireland versus New Zealand coming up relatively soon, which should be an exciting one. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, your score predictions for this matchup. That ball has gone up. Johan Grubela. In fact, sorry, I keep on calling him Johan, but it is actually Gurbaran Grubela. Did have that one. Jaden Henderson looking like he will be kicking this ball up high once again. So it seems to be the tactic for the Sharks. Kick it high and see if Connacht make the mistake under the high ball. Have Werner Koch chase as hard as he can. And it's just outside of the 22, taken very nicely by Alex Wooten, but a lot of pressure on him. Finley Bilham helps protect that ball. Now using that backline, Butler loping it over the top into the hands of Porch. Now a couple steps. He's going round, although he's still going sideways. Great tackle on him by Thomas Detoy. So they weren't able to make too many extra meters there. A little bit of a counter ruck from Thomas Detoy while he's out at 3-3 draw. And there says Lottie, imagine if this game ended at 3-3. I feel like there would be a lot of people who are annoyed that we weren't able to see any tries. Hopefully we see one relatively soon, though. And I think probably 25 minutes that's going to be now given as the penalty for Thomas Detoy. He was just a little bit too quick. Okay, Thomas Detoy, he's disappointed, but saying that, Mike Adamson, telling a guy, I didn't see it, so I thought you were offside. That's risky business because, of course, the player, Thomas Detoy had every right to say, mate, you got a touchy there. So I was looking for offside. I turned around and I just saw you offside. So Thomas Detoy feels that he did that completely legally. Okay. Interesting one there for Thomas Detoy, but he'll be a little bit disappointed. Already 4 penalties against the Sharks side. I think it's the way that Mike Adamson words things that gets him in a bit of trouble. I know that him in that game between Wales and Australia was certainly not the most popular man in the world. Now passing it back across. It is the first receiver in Blade. Now goes off to Tom Daly. Tom Daly, isn't he an Olympic diver? Maybe. Not the same one, of course. I think it would be a different one. But this stage, I think he is. Tom Daly? Elliot. No, not Elliot Daly. He's an English player. And also Thomas needs to go to Specsavers. And there's our says our show. That's going to be now penalised for the hands down on the ground of the Sharks. Getting penalised back to back to back here at the moment. But Sia Khaleesi is the man who was penalised for that one. From about 40 metres out, they are going to be taking on the shot and going for it once again. But now 20 minutes into this game, and it is a battle of the threes currently. Okay, Oxnechet, then Sia Khaleesi, yep, hands straight down on the ground. He was never going to quite get away with that one. The worst thing is, he did it. Then he looked up at the ref to ask if he was going to win the penalty, except just completely got the hands in the wrong place. And Connacht might be able to get themselves a 3-point lead now. But for me, I think Makasole Mapimpi, we haven't seen too much of him. So this day, I'm going to go Werner Koch as the man who does do very nicely in it. But Conor Fitzgerald, successful 1 from 1 of the times tonight. Another yawn. Stock standard for this time of the morning. Currently 2:30. He struck that one beautifully. And that is going to make the score 6 points to 3 in favour of Connacht. So a few Irish supporters in attendance by the looks of it going for their Connacht side. And we'll be hoping that they can continue building themselves this momentum that they have got. And we'll go like this. I'm just going to make sure that we are all running smoothly. We are indeed, which is very good news for ourselves. But now it is going to be Kerwin Bosch who is ready to kick off this game for the Sharks. He's going to be kicking it off high. It looks like the sun's kind of gone away a little bit. It was out just before, but it seems like it has completely gone behind a cloud and now running it straight sideways. It's going to be Porch. Shut down pretty quickly, though. Still inside of their own 22. Connacht off to Finley Bealham. Has make an extra meter for himself. Still just going to be available for them. And now Blade fires it back into the pocket. He has to kick off the left boot there for Conor Fitzgerald. It's a good kick downfield for the amount of pressure that he was under, and he's asking for a couple extra meters here. The thing is, I don't think that works. I think asking the touch judge to reconsider where he thinks the ball went out doesn't normally go too well for players. We see some of the players actually skipping down the wing alongside the referee. Currently, a little bit of a set play might be coming up very soon for the Sharks. They are just organising it. Oxnechet going to have a chat to Bongi on Manumbi. He's saying, right, get this one going for, I would say they'll go for Roland Moore. Would be a good option from here, or maybe recycle it extremely quickly and get it straight back out. It's gone to LaRue Roots. The rolling Moore is the choice that the Sharks do go with. Bongi on Manumbi, he's got this one at the back. Connacht need to make sure they don't end up giving away a penalty here. They have been told to use it once. Bongi on Manumbi still sitting at the back. You can really tell where Sia Khaleesi is because he's got that bright red ball, actually armbands. He has got still marching forward for the Sharks. They're trying to get this penalty. It doesn't look like it's worked out for them, though. And now it's Jaden Hendricks that passes back across. There's about 3 players for Connacht who are all down on the ground. That's a big bit of contact for John Porch, who had to take down Tupawai. Now going back, Hendricks off to big LaRue Roots. And when we talk about big players, he is one of the biggest around, alongside the likes of a Will Skelton. Geez, he's been dropped backwards for Thomas Tatoy. Great tackle from Finley Bealham and Conor Fitzgerald. And now, because of it, it is going to be the scrum feed for Connacht. And Thomas Tatoy, he's feeling like he's been through a bit of a battle at the moment. Every time he touches the ball or tries to touch the ball, he either gets penalised or he drops it. But Ben Tupawai passed slightly behind him. And then John Porch, he had to make a massive hit there. And passing it out the back line. What are we checking here? Foul play? No, not too sure what they are looking at there, but they were looking for something anyway. I think they were just looking at a couple of the replays. What I will quickly do is I will go like this, and I will go like this as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our Kiwi Lad Sport channel, where we will have plenty more videos, previews, a lot over there, and also a few live streams coming up in the near future. But that is the link that I have put in the chat. Any help on there is hugely appreciated, as we have got plenty more videos coming in the future. And be sure to check some of them out. But now, okay, they're checking possible head contact between John Porch and also Ben Tupperwai. Okay, they're checking for head-on-head from Mike Adamson. Well, we've got this opportunity. Ooh, that was close to spilling. And to strategically drink a little bit more there, or else I was going to probably drop it. Well, that's a big bear hug from John Porch, but they're trying to say maybe head-on-head. Well, this could end up being a yellow card with the way that the rule book is written. Both players. Okay, they're saying maybe he come down from low and then went from low to high. So they're going to be checking this one. This could be, I hope at most it's a yellow. I really don't want to see a red card here, because I don't think you can penalise them bad enough to get a red in that tackle. But they are just going to be checking a couple more of the angles. Okay, they're trying to confirm if there's clear head-on-head contact. I think the comment from their captain, Jared Butler, was, look how low he is. Okay, Mike Adamson. Oh. Okay. Clear height. Okay. John Porch is going to end up with a yellow card here, but he will still be able to go back out on the field after 20 minutes. Ben Tupperwai getting a little bit of medical attention currently, making sure that he is 100%. But that will be unfortunate, because now that the Sharks have got their man advantage, normally that's when they smell blood in the water, pardon the pun, but they will be looking for a couple tries at least during this time that John Porch is off the field. They'll be disappointed. Just didn't quite get low enough, John Porch. And that is something that the World Rugby are really getting strict on, as any type of head contact does result in a player going off the field for the next 10 minutes. But Kerwin Bosch, it looks like they want to go for the corner now for the Sharks. So they have got their man advantage. Kerwin Bosch kicking it for the corner, trying to get as many meters as he can. It's gone into the second tier of the stand, but 15 meters out now. It will be the line out in favour of the Sharks. In the next 10 minutes, John Porch is not going to be able to be out on the field here, which I'm sure he'll be disappointed about. He would have liked to keep on playing. I think John Porch hasn't been looking too bad in the early stages. Bongi Omanumbi throws it in. Now Gerbrand Grobela. As it goes, and also we've got the Waven card. It was a card indeed. So John Porch, the Irish, or the Connacht number 14, did end up having head-on-head contact with Ben Tupperwai. So he did end up getting the yellow. Well, they won now. It's going to be an advantage for the Sharks. And I mentioned about the fact that when they get half an opportunity, they'll try and make the most of it. They are only a metre short of the line now. Gerbrand Grobela. He looks close, and he is more than close. He's over the line. And that is the first try of the match for the Sharks. So one yellow card. The lady in the crowd wasn't sure whether or not it was a try, so she was waiting for some sort of confirmation. But Gerbrand Grobela does score the try. His first try of the matchup, 24 minutes in, and it is nicely done. Bongi Omanumbi did end up only getting about a metre short. Then Gerbrand Grobela around the side, just using that power, going over the top of Heffernan, and also with Prendergast. And are we going to see it from this angle? I believe we will. Gerbrand Grobela around the side, uses the power, boom, far down it goes. And he does end up getting himself the try. So that is how you make the most of an opportunity of having a man advantage. That is for sure. Now, Kerwin Bosch, second worst kicking accuracy in the competition. Unfortunately, it's probably a stat that he doesn't really want for himself, but he has got it currently. And he will now have this kick 25 minutes into the game. But the Sharks, they take an early lead now up against Connacht. The next game that has taken place, it is the Stormers up against Leinster. Should be an entertaining one, but this kick has gone over for Kerwin Bosch, and now the score will be 25 minutes into this game, 10 points to 6 in favour of the Sharks. He actually brought it around. There was a little bit of a tail on it for Kerwin Bosch. And I feel like sometimes for kickers, if you've got that natural curve that you normally get, sometimes that's a sign that you're actually starting to find a bit of form. Like there's the difference between getting that natural hook and shanking the ball to the side. And I feel like Kerwin Bosch at the moment getting that natural little bit of curve on it. It does go over. Christian Lealiafano probably getting one of the more prominent curves when he is striking the ball. Krobala, like they said, he actually spent some time playing for Leinster. So he's played against a few Irishmen in the past and has played with some Irishmen. Oh, now that really makes me want to see South Africa versus Ireland. I think the next time we get to see it is actually the World Cup in 2023. Going to be taken nicely by Pepsi Butler, only a few metres out from his own line, running out hard back. And Heffernan is able to make a tackle on him, or is he? He's still actually going Pepsi Butler, and he's just been able to shove off a couple more Connacht players. He made an extra 5 to 10 metres more than he should have. But now because of it, this kick cannot go out on the full. It's charged down beautifully. And Connacht now, they're going to score the try. And that is how you charge one down. And it was the big man, Gavin Thornberry, who wasn't able to get it. And that is how you answer back as well. So Connacht, it's just a half a mistake. Unfortunately, it was such a good run from Pepsi Buthelezi that it then meant that Jaden Hendrickson wasn't able to kick this ball into touch because they were outside of the 22. And then from there, bang, was able to get both hands on the ball, slaps it down. It bounces up favorably for him. Did have the captain on his outside, Butler, if he did need him, but just times it to perfection. Ball sits up about as perfectly as it can for a lock. And he goes over, scores the try. And Jaden Hendrickson, he'll be disappointed with that one. I think they are showing there the Sharks, their coaching staff, we're not too happy with that one, as it has now got Connacht right back into this game. It seems like it could be a little bit back and forth between these two sides. But now 11 points to Connacht with a kick to come now for the youngster Conor Fitzgerald. He's got 2 from 2 tonight, though, so he should have a relatively decent chance of getting it over. And got to leave you all to watch the Oxford Sevens by. And there's the selection, so we will see you later on, mate. And hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. And also, I think the Dragons are playing currently. They are a Welsh team. Hopefully the Dragons get themselves a win. That's kicked. That's missed for Fitzgerald. So because of it, the score will remain at 11 points to Connacht and 10 for the Sharks. So this game is flying by. We're already 30 minutes through it. And I would say more than likely we're going to get to see about a 50-point contest between these two sides. Currently, another 5 or so minutes. Take care, Fleshin, says Sebastian there as well. So other than Nikita, Sebastian, we're going to go back to NXT for half a second. Who else do you like, I guess, I want to say in the ring, but also I guess out of the ring as well in that case? Who else is one that you think is going to be able to do decently in the future? Currently now sitting 22 metres out from the line. And it has been rolled back nicely. And it's actually sunny here, outdoor beer time. Says Flesham, very nicely done. If I was to have an outdoor beer currently, it would be quite dark, unfortunately, for myself. So you'll have to have one for me as well. But drink responsibly, I should also mention, because or else then I could get sued. Now, it's going to be LaRue Roots goes round. Thomas Detoya stayed down with some sort of maybe head knock or something. That looked forward at the moment. Bongi on Banambi. Jeez, he's almost stood on the head of Thomas Detoya. That was risky. Right. I think he's taken a knock right on the top of his head, Thomas Detoya, and it doesn't look too flash for him, so they will have a bit of a stoppage here while we are at it. Right. Oh, head on head. And that was up against the tough skull of Leva Fafita. That skull does not break. Like they're saying, the big Tongan, not the one that you want to be running straight into. It's like he's getting a little bit of medical attention, though, so I feel like that's a slight win for Thomas Detoy. The fact that he has been able to possibly hurt his opposition with his head. And honestly, I used to like Dexter Loomis, but now that he's been released, I can't be asked anymore, says Sebastian. Yeah, he was another big one that I didn't expect to see on that list. Like Dakota Kai, it was unfortunate because she was a Kiwi, of course. But then Dexter Loomis, like they had only just started that tag team with him and Duke Hudson. I feel like anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about will just think that we're saying a whole heap of random names for fun. But yeah, also I see Persia Perotta, is that her name? She was also one of the ones released. So I don't know what they're doing with the future. Okay, there is a cut on the head of Thomas Detoy, but now it is going to be Machuno. Does make his way out there for a little bit of time. Have you got WWE 2K22, Sebastian? And if so, is it any good? Because I want to buy it, but I want to get the NWA edition. Or NWA. I don't know what I'm on about. NWO edition, because I want all the people. Currently now sitting about 35 metres out from the line. The Sharks will have this line out. Oh, sorry, it's a scrum feed that they will have for themselves. Currently now sitting 29 minutes through this game. Still the yellow card and the man advantage for them. I wonder, in my lineup video, I learned that if I tap my desk, it actually comes through the microphone. So I'm wondering, can you guys hear that? And if so, is it like really distinguished or is it not too bad? That's going to be a free kick to Connacht now. But yeah, I'm just curious because in the lineups video, it was very prominent at times throughout it. Like if I was scrolling through to get the different lineup up on my phone or anything. But Machuno, he's only just gone out onto the field and now he's already penalised. Not the greatest start for that man. And also didn't get to WWE 2K22, but I heard that Rey Mysterio has about 5 different versions of himself. He does. He's got a lot in that game. I think they just went overboard. Because the thing is, like some people, like The Undertaker, I understand having the different versions, but Rey Mysterio, it's just a different, like, it sounds bad, but it's just a different attire, whereas, like, it's a different character for a lot of the other guys that they have multiple, like, injections of. Like, you've got Ministry Undertaker, like, original Undertaker, now Undertaker type thing. And also the Boneyard match or whatever it was called. I can't remember the name of that one. And now Kerwin Bosch fires it back across the upper Lily Fussy inside of the 22, kicks it in behind. Finds quite a bit of space as well, but now it sits up for Matt Hansen, who hasn't really been too busy throughout the early stages of this game, or not that we've seen anyway. It's going to be a skidding ball. Sharks take it quickly and decide that that will be the plan to try and keep this ball in play for as long as possible. We're down this Connacht side, who are currently only playing with the 14 out there on the field. 40 metres out. Connacht win the penalty, and it's backfired for the Sharks, and it is the big man there, Kian Poltergeist, or Prendergast, I should say. As we are going to go there. Poltergeist, that's like a haunted thing, isn't it? If I'm not wrong. But now they are all kicking for the post. I thought for a second they were going for the corner there, Connacht, but instead they have given the ball to Conor Fitzgerald, who will once again be trying to increase his kicking accuracy for this matchup, as he has been lacking it quite a bit in recent times, as shown by the lowest conversion rate out of any side in the URC. Which is not what you want. Done very nicely there for Prendergast. Like they're saying, he's got a very good work rate and is willing to put the body on the line, which is exactly what you need in a game up against the South African side in South Africa. You got to give it 110%. If you don't, you're pretty much just going to be a sitting duck for the South African side to run straight over the top of you, which no one really wants overall, I wouldn't think. Definitely not this close to the quarterfinals. Only this round, the next round, and then we're into the quarterfinals that are taking place in about 33 days' time, I believe it was, is when those ones are going to be taking place. That's kicked long. It's kicked well. This time he's got this one over for Connacht. And also, could you play a fatal four-way match, including 4 different rays? I think you could. I think so. That'll be an interesting one, wouldn't it? See which one ends up doing the better job out of all of them. I guess, yeah, because you can do the same with like the Undertakers and whatnot, have them all. And Cardi normally kicks for Connacht. And there says Usher. So I do see that Cardi is coming off the bench. So is it Carty's kicking record that's normally not terrible, but worse? Because they did show us that earlier that it's only 69.9% in the competition, the lowest out of anyone. So is it Carty's goal kicking that has been a little bit of the trouble, or is it Fitzgerald, or maybe a mixture? Do let me know. But their running game is certainly impressive, Connacht. Just going to be using this backline once again. Now Fitzgerald, the youngster we just mentioned, steps on the inside. Good run for, but Pepsi Portalesi able to drag him down now, Blade. And I mean, there gives it off to Bilham, trying to step through a couple of tackles, but he's been dragged down nicely by Tupperware. Still no sign of Lucanio for the South African Sharks. It looks like Blade's going to be rolling this ball back once again. No sign of Thomas Tatoy yet either, after he has gone off the field for his HIA and also to get patched up from the blood bin. Nicely taken by Kerwin Bosch, 40 metres out from the line, and I believe they'll go for another kick here, but they'll have to be careful not to have what happened for the last one, which was, Werner Koch getting thrown back over the breakdown. Okay, there was a little bit of aggression out there between those two sides. Seemed like no one was really too happy about getting put on the back foot for the breakdown. Now going up high, Mac Hansen glides beautifully and does take it very nicely. Werner Koch able to tackle him alongside Grobbler. Currently, Connacht got this ball 40 metres out from their line. Another big carry from Fafita, who, I mean, it's surprising that he is still out on the field with the heavy contact that him and also Thomas the Toy took. Now, once again, Blade puts it high Robala tried to charge it down, unable to do so. Now this is an awkward one. Oh, it's a miscommunication between Vernikock and also Apalele Fasi. They have a high five between them, but I think one of them might have touched the ball. I see a Bundy Arki in the background. It's interesting that he's not playing this game. Does anyone know whether or not it is resting or maybe injury for why he is not there? What is the song? Okay, I thought they were playing some sort of horror music at the ground, and I was like, interesting choice for a halftime break. Unless... No, it's not horror music. I was going to say maybe it's the Jaws song, just because I guess the Sharks and Jaws, it made sense. I have no idea what the song is, and Connacht are yet to lose against South African opposition, beating the Bulls, the Stormers, and the Lions this season. That is a stat and a half, and hopefully they will be able to have a very good performance in this game, currently leading 14 points to 10, with only the 4 points difference between them after 34 minutes. So still plenty of time for both of these sides, and Connacht actually back to 15 men now out on the field, which will be a huge benefit up against the Sharks. Looks like the attendance is pretty good here, and we are at Cape Town Stadium for this match. No, we're not. We're at Kings Park Stadium. And then Cape Town Stadium will be the location of the next game that has taken place between the Stormers and also Leinster. That's going to be a great matchup because it is two sides that are right near the top. But the big difference is that Leinster, they've had to make quite a few changes. The Stormers, I'm looking forward to the battle between Andrew Porter and also having Stephen Kitsoff in the front row. Of course, on the different sides of the scrum, but both going to have a big impact. Heffernan now firing the ball back. Blade, it was almost a deliberate knockdown there. Okay, they're checking for this one. Mike Adamson says, no, it's not. Now out on the wing. Now they've got the advantage. It's kicked in behind by the big number 6, and it's going to be sitting up nicely in the in-goal area. Vernikock almost made the mistake there. And now it is a goal line dropout. So they must have decided that that deliberate knockdown was not so deliberate, and it was instead just a knock-on, play-on after that. Connacht, they need to be back 5 metres. And they didn't quite realise that, so they were right in the face of Makazole Mapimpi. Now it looks like Kerwin Bosch will be just sticking this one as long as physically possible. Oh, hang on. He's gone short. He's gone up to about 22 metres out from the line. Makazole Mapimpi went up for it. It was a good contest in the end. Now John Porch back out there, and he's going to have tons of energy after sitting on the bench or sitting on the naughty chair for the last 10 minutes. Nice pass to the gap from Blades. He's got Bilham with him. Ball on the inside to Blades, and they're going to score it between the posts. And that's the youngster Blades. Jeez, he's just been ragdolled by Bilham. You've got to be careful chucking your halfback around like that, mate, or else you take his head off. But it is going to be Kalen Blade who was able to go in for that try. Very nicely done. Mac Hansen gives him the pat on the back, and Connacht, now that they're back to the 15 men, they are looking once again as dangerous as ever. Bilham got the little pass off from him. And then from there, it was nicely. Well, it was a very good dive from Blade. But he fends off LaRue Roots. That will give the youngster a lot of confidence because LaRue Roots is not a small man. He is actually a very large man. And while Connacht came to fight, they certainly did. And they are the only side that are yet to lose to a South African team. They've beaten the Bulls, the Sharks, and the Bulls, the Lions, and also the Stormers. And also that poll is an Asian well so far. There's AFL there in the chat. Currently, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to vote in that poll. And also, be sure to check out the QLED Sport channel. We will put the pin comment. Oh, no, I haven't actually got a pin comment there. I do realize, but that is a link to the QLED Sport channel. Be sure to check it out. Our goal is that 850 subscribers over there on that channel before the end of the weekend. We are getting relatively close to the end of the weekend, but we're also getting relatively close to that goal. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. And we have got plenty more coming up in the future. Now it's going to be kicked off by Kerwin Bosch. Looks high for Makazole Mapimpi. That time he's taken it beautifully. So learning from his mistakes of the last take. And now the Sharks, they are currently 11 points down. Good counter-ruck from Connacht. Brilliant counter-ruck from Connacht. LaRue Roots has to try and knock it back onto the side of the Sharks, and he does just that. Machuno, after coming out on the field, poor Thomas the Toy. Now going to be available once again. Jaden Henrikse goes off to Gerbrand Grobler. Who can have the most impact in the last 2.5 minutes of this game? That is the big question. Or the 2.5 minutes left of this first half, I should say. Oxnashe bouncing back up towards V. Machuno now receives the short ball. Now Waikato pass to the left. Kerwin Bosch, Apalele Fasi goes for the grubber of mine. It sits up for Makazole Mapimpi. He's just short of the line. He tried to spin out, and that is going to be the penalty for Connacht. Brilliant work from Blade. And all he's done is hip. Oh, he's done something bad. I think he's popped his hip out. And he looks like he's in a ton of discomfort currently. But he was able to make the tackle on Makazole Mapimpi. Now, you'd have to say the hands were down first of all. So he wasn't supporting the body weight. But then from there, did end up going down and hurting himself in the process. He looks like he's getting stretched out big time now. He did. Tell you what, it's marked instantly. I think there's a red gash. Or not a gash, but like a red mark right down the side of his hip. Which I think means that he's probably done something relatively serious to it. He's probably twisted it the wrong way or something along those lines, but hopefully he will be able to continue as he just got himself a try not too long ago. But now Connacht, they are going to be kicking this one for touch and relieving a little bit of the pressure. The thing is, though, the Sharks, you need to be about 30 points ahead of them. If you're not, they are going to be able to have a half a chance at a comeback, which we may get to see possibly today. The moment now, Fitzgerald, he will be kicking this one for the touchline. The youngster Conor Fitzgerald. I'm looking through at their bench. They've got a few good names that will be coming on in the later stages of this match. Luke Carty is one of them. I believe it's Luke anyway. Is it Luke? No, it's Jack. Jack Carty. Wrong Luke. Who's Luke Carty? Is there a Luke Carty? Who does Luke Carty play for, ladies and gentlemen? Do let me know. Also, O'Halloran in the later stages, I think will be another one to watch out for. Who is Luke? Luke Carty. Is that a real player? Don't know. Might be. Now it is going to be Heffernan. We'll be going for this line-out throw. Still another minute and 20 seconds left. The Ruroot's just having to put in the contacts, make sure. Like, that's the thing. It's one of those ones you need to be able to see, but it's also like, I don't think I could ever put a contact in my eye just because I wouldn't like touching my eyeball. You know? That just mean, no, probably not. I think it's ever since we dissected an eyeball in like science that I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think I'll touch mine. And now it's going to be taken nicely by Fafita. Waiting at the back for Heffernan, and they are close to the touchline. Still only a minute left, though, of this first half. Connacht looking to use their backline a little bit, although actually, first of all, going to hit it up with the forwards a couple times. And I believe they know that they've only got 1 minute left of this half, and they'd like to just close it out without too many issues there. And like they're saying, 11 points is a very nice lead to have going into halftime if they are able to keep it on their side for the next 40 seconds. It's not going to be the most entertaining 40 seconds of all time, but it is going to be an effective one for Connacht as long as they get out of this game or out of this half without conceding another point or a penalty. They have been told to use it once again, just looking to close it out. It is going to be the captain in the form of Jared Butler. Oh, Heffernan took a hard head knock there. It's a bit of a counter ruck from the Sharks. Still unable to turn it over. Henko Fenton now trying to get straight on the ball. That was close for the Sharks there. Oh, they've rolled a man upside down by the looks of it. And now 10 seconds left of this half. Looking to just close it out for the Benetton. Oh, sorry, not Benetton. I keep on saying Benetton because of the green, but Connacht now. That's the siren. Kicking it out. It will be halftime, and Connacht have got themselves a 21-10 point lead over the Sharks. So a very nice one. And also when you're watching cricket next, and there says Ahmad, I believe the next international match that we are covering, I want to do more IPL, but the time zones are always very rough. What colored or which color lenses would you go for? I think I'd go blue. Overall, I'd love to have blue eyes. Or I'd go with like bright yellow, but I feel like that would look very strange. So probably blue, I guess, if I had to pick a color. But I will have a quick look and see the international cricket circuit. There's been a little bit of a stoppage on the circuit just while everyone is kind of playing in the IPL and whatnot, but we'll go international. Oh, that's not the word. International cricket. But I know that one of the next series that we have got is England versus New Zealand that is coming up in June, kind of mid-June, early June is the next time that we have got that one. Guernsey are playing Spain currently. Interesting. And then also in the near future, I'm just going to have a quick look today, tomorrow, Sunday, Denmark and Finland. So there's not really any big international games taking place. Malta versus Romania, on the 11th of May, Sebastian. Might have to give that one a geese for yourself. And then, yeah, so the next big one's probably either the test match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, though, those ones are more than likely going to get us a copyright strike. So it's probably in June that we have got our next one. But on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, if we do any IPL, it will be taking place on that channel. So I will put that link there so that you can check it out. But yeah, any IPL that we do in the future will be going up on that channel just to be safe with the whole copyright side of things. But the 2nd to the 7th of June, England versus New Zealand, we are going to be covering that test match on the channel, and also maybe some of the Netherlands versus the West Indies, Sri Lanka versus Australia. I wish we could, but they will probably copyright strike us, and maybe Pakistan versus West Indies could be another one that we do look at. But I'm missing my cricket a little bit. I've been watching some of the IPL, but nothing huge in terms of the length that I've been watching the games for. We'll go like this, and we will go like this as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. Our next game that we are covering is Stormers versus Leinster. Should be a great game. But so far, Connacht, they've been able to score a couple tries early on in this match. The Sharks also able to get themselves one. But for me, I think it's going to be, or are you going to watch South Africa and India? When do they play, Ahmad? Do let me know. Because if it does work out for time zone-wise, I am 100% keen to be able to check out that game. But yeah, it does just kind of depend a little bit on when the games are taking place and kind of the time zone. Is it played in South Africa or India for that matchup as well? And also, Sunil Narayan's Titanium Duck was interesting in the Sebastian. Yeah, we were talking about it a little while ago, weren't we, for like ducks and whatnot. And the fact that he was actually getting one quite recently after we mentioned it was quite unlucky timing in June, I think, says Ahmad. So yeah, as long as it doesn't overlap, for a moment, I'm going to have a quick look, see what I can find. India, South Africa. In fact, it was actually pretty much the next one that I hadn't gone to, but it's on the 10th of June as their first matchup. I do see that they've got a T20 series, 5 T20s between the two sides. And then after that, I think they actually make their way into maybe a test series, which could benefit us because by the time they get into the test series, I believe Super Rugby and everything along those lines will all almost be over. Oh no, Ireland and India actually have their next games. And then India versus India versus England taking place in July. There's another one. Are you going to watch England and South Africa in July? I certainly am. That is going to be a very entertaining one when it does come up. And yeah, India versus England. I was about to say England versus India, but that is the same thing. Like England versus South Africa, they're all going to be great series, and we're going to cover as much of them as we can on the channel throughout the time, because those international matches will be taking place on this channel, whereas the IPL ones on the Kiwi Lads Sport, just to keep the copyright side of things safe, because we have had a copyright strike from cricket before, unfortunately, and that was from doing a Sri Lankan game. Unfortunately, I thought there was a massive spider on my wall. Luckily, it is just a part of the wallpaper, I should say. So it's all good. Yeah, April, may I reserve for the IPL? And damn it, mate, the competition has lost its flair. And there's Sebastian. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I try my best to watch the highlights, but I think there's almost too much sport on currently. Like, that it's just so hard to balance everything. Like, we're going to be doing the sevens that starts in 2 hours' time, but we will be watching along with that while doing the URC. And then after that, I've got to make everything and get ready for those live streams that we are doing a little bit later on. I'll just make sure I know exactly which games they are and let you guys know. I know that we're doing New Zealand versus England, USA versus Fiji. Actually, other way around. I think it's New Zealand versus USA and England versus Fiji, and then Fiji versus New Zealand is the other one that we are going to be doing on the channel, followed then by Super Rugby, which is coming just around the corner. Brumbies versus Hurricanes. Then we sleep, then we wake up, and then we do some more of the sevens tomorrow morning. And while I'm at it, I'm going to see when those sevens matches do take place, because if they do work out quite nicely for us, we might be able to fit in a game of some other league tomorrow morning. So by the looks of it, it is the quarterfinals starting at 5 a.m. That's going to be a tough time, but we're going to do it. And then after that, the 5th to 6th and semi-finals, they're at kind of 8. So between 6 and 8, we have almost maybe, or 6:30 and 8, we've almost got some free time, kind of. Maybe. So then we can look at the other games around the world and see what is happening at those stages. And also a good win for the Lions against Benetton, says Hanley. It certainly was. Doing very nicely for themselves, definitely from coming from behind to be able to go on and get themselves a win. Very nicely done indeed. But there is a game later on tonight, I believe, for the Premiership. And it sounds weird me saying later on tonight because currently there are 3 games of the Premiership taking place. But the London Irish up against the Wasps, that is a slightly earlier game at 2 a.m. New Zealand time. But we're going to sit up straight. We're going to have a drink of water because we have got currently another 13 hours ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. So cheers. We have been up for about 12 hours already. And cheers to that. So they have just said that Blade is actually in his 50th match of this game. So being able to score himself a try, and this one is absolutely huge for them, or huge for him, and also for Connacht, have currently got themselves a 21 points to 10 lead over their South African counterparts. So they are the only side to have not lost. And also, are you going to do Stormers versus Leinster? We sure are. We are doing that game straight after this one. And then after that, we have also got some sevens that we are going to be doing in the near future. So yeah, be sure to stick around. We've got plenty more rugby coming up later on tonight with the sevens, with the URC. Once again, we have got another match. There's actually a later game of the URC, isn't there, between Edinburgh and Munster? Edinburgh and Ulster, in fact, and that is at 6:35, but I don't think they're showing that here in New Zealand. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do any commentary for that one. But I'm looking forward to seeing all the results because we're up to round 17, round 18 just around the corner. And then after that, so no South African sides play next week. And then it is back to an Ireland and etc. for the week after on the 21st of May. Is the next time that we do get to see some sides in action. So that will be, I bet you that's the same weekend as the sevens comes back. One moment, I'm just going to go down to the World Sevens for the men and the women. When does the men's sevens come back? It's not in 100 and something days. It is in 19 days. I bet you that's, yep. So that's going to be the same weekend as the men's sevens comes back. And maybe the Sharks will come back like the Lions did. There is a real possibility that does end up happening. And yeah, it should be an awesome game for the second half because we've seen so many comebacks and games of 2 halves over this weekend, whether it's for Super Rugby, whether it's for the URC, whether it's in the Gallagher Premiership. We've seen all of these games that just go either way. Also, Sebastian, while I am at it, I am sorry to bring it up, but what did you think of that game between Northampton and the Harlequins, out of curiosity? It was a very close one, right down to the wire in that matchup. And in the end, the Harlequins just missing out by the 1 point. But they still get the bonus point, which is good because they are getting close to the playoff stage. That's the thing. All of the leagues around the world are starting to come near to the end of them, whereas all the internationals are just around the corner. So it does mean that it is going to be some very exciting stuff coming up. But Leinster, at this stage, their game is just around the corner up against the Stormers, in which they will be looking to add to some more wins. They are sitting first on the table currently, compared to the Stormers, who are sitting about 3rd or 4th, I believe they are currently, for the Stormers. So the South African sides, once they started playing in South Africa, have certainly been able to make their way up just a little bit more. I've realised I've got HSBC behind me, and that wasn't even on purpose. And I've been talking about the sevens quite often throughout this live stream. But I've actually got Suncorp Stadium behind me. I decided to keep it in Australia just for a little bit longer, as we didn't actually get to see a game played in Suncorp, or at Suncorp, for today. But we did see one yesterday between the Chiefs and the Reds, and it was a very entertaining one. My game has gone quiet. Is that because it is frozen? No, it's not. It is just because they are sitting there waiting for the players to come back out onto the field. I was worried for a second. It was extremely quiet. Currently 3 games of the Gallagher Premiership going on, 2 games at halftime, and then Saracens versus Worcester has made its way into the second half. But I won't spoil any of those results just in case you guys are going to go back and watch those games after. I'm also going to look through and see who's playing in the top 14 currently. Biarritz and Castres, they are the one team playing. Also alongside that, Clermont and Stade Francais. They've all actually just kicked off at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., and then Pole versus Racing 92. And also Perpignan versus Breve, with the later game today actually being Toulouse versus La Rochelle. That's going to be a great game. And hopefully I will get to watch it if my eyelids aren't closed by then. But they shouldn't be because we've still got stuff to do. There's a pool at the ground, which we do love. little bit of swimming for the occasion. Also, why do you think South Africa team struggle so much against Connacht? It's a good question because for some reason, Connacht, like they've beaten all the other sides, of course. And I don't know what it is. I'm going to quickly check to see if they were home or away games, but I think at least one of them was actually an away game, wasn't it, for Connacht? So if Grant Williams actually making his way out there, I do see. So yeah, Connacht were able to beat the Lions last week. Then they were able to beat the Stormers 19 points to 17. The Bulls, they were able to defeat them way earlier on in the competition. Connacht 34 points to 7 in one of the first rounds. I guess it's just that gritty, grindy side that normally just finds some way of being able to make it work. Because the thing is, Leinster also up against Connacht do sometimes struggle when Connacht are at home, whereas these are all away games for Connacht. So I guess they're just really finding a rich vein of form and going with it. They seem to know something about the South African sides that the other Irish teams do not, which might be able to benefit them going forward. Although I don't think they make it through to the quarterfinals, Connacht, with where they are sitting currently. Even with a win here, they will still be a little bit too far behind in the competition. Now, they are saying about Grant Williams being out on the field. I believe that will be the replacement for Jaden Hendrickson. I don't know whether or not that is due to injury or whether that is just a little bit of a strategic play that they have decided to go with. Gerberan Grubler scoring a try in that first half will be hoping to be able to have a big performance here in the second and get his side into the lead. I thought there was a raindrop that just fell before, but luckily it does seem like it was just a leaf or something along those lines. So we're all good to be able to continue in the dry. But Connacht was lucky against the Lions. That's very true. And I think it is a little bit of that luck because they also only had a 2-point win up against the Stormers. So they have close games up against the South African sides, but unlike some of the other sides from the Northern Hemisphere, they are able to be those 2 points or 3 points ahead rather than being the side that just misses out and only gets the bonus point for it. So I think that's like all down to just one penalty throughout the game that they do get over, because the thing is, they have the lowest kicking percentage in the competition. So you would think that would really affect them in terms of being able to get themselves some points. But now Apalele Fassi, in fact, it's Pepsi Butler once again. That man has been everywhere out there on the park. Now it is going to be just inside of the 22. In fact, that is still going to be Jaden Hendrickson. There's a Grant Williams out on the wing, and that will be rather than Werner Koch, I believe, who has been taken off the field now, which is an interesting situation, as I didn't realize there was some sort of injury for him, unless they are just looking to make a couple more changes now. Running forward once again here, it will be Connacht. We've got this ball on the halfway line. Good run from the try scorer now. Tom Daly gets it. Still waiting for it now. Blade in his 50th test match passes it back beautifully to Mac Hansen. One of the first carries we have seen from him in a little while. And that is going to be the scrum feed now in favour of the Sharks, I should say. Okay, Thomas Tatui has failed his HIA, so he will not be returning back out in this game. Okay. Oh, okay, so Grant Williams is on for Tapawai. He has gone out to the wing, and now Werner Koch is in the centres, is what they have said there. I was wondering what had happened there, or whether or not Werner Koch was taken off the field, but I think Tapawai, probably from that head knock earlier on, maybe he might have failed the HIA alongside of the captain, Thomas Tatui. So I guess it changes your tactics quite drastically when your captain then goes off for an HIA. All of a sudden, you've lost that kind of senior figure. So that's where someone like a Sia Khaleesi or maybe Gerberan Grubler, one of these big guys in the four-pack, and also a little bit of experience from the likes of a Makazole Mapimpi at the back to try and keep you calm. But John Porsche kicks that one. Well, that's a good kick. Right down into the 22 now. Kerwin Bosch. His foot was right on the line. They kick it from inside. Mac Hansen takes it nicely. Kicks it up high. And waiting for it to come down. It's taken nicely by Apalele Fassi. Goes for the kick in behind now. Looking for the 50-22. It's a good kick. It's a brilliant kick. And the Sharks have got themselves the 50-22. Great work from the young fullback, Apalele Fassi. And they are going to have themselves a very good attacking position now on the field. But a 50-22 is exactly what they needed in the early stages of the second half. Apalele Fassi kicks it. That's actually a 60-22. He's kicked it way back in his half and still has been able to get it into touch in the perfect position. Only 14 appearances. This man has got a bright future, that is for sure. And hopefully we either get to see him out on the wing or at fullback for the Springboks in a future tour. I know that they've got Wales, and he failed his HIA. They asked him what day it is. He said yesterday. Says Usher there. Probably not the answer that you want to give for one of those. It's like, I mean, you could try and answer it with a question, like answer a question with a question, but that's probably difficult. So, like, if they're like, what's your name? You'd be like, so what's your name? But then they probably know that something was up and you probably shouldn't be out on the field. So hopefully it's not too long that Thomas Tutoya is out for. Luckily, he's got a bit of time before the finals, so he will be able to rest up and get recovered there. But Oxnashad, good carry forward. Finley Bilham almost able to use that brute strength that the man has, be able to keep it on the side of Connacht Fenta with a good run, or Henko, in fact it was, sorry. Now, Jaden Hendricks that goes back across to LaRue Roots. This is looking like great phase play. I can't even speak at the moment. I'm too excited because I know that there's going to be maybe a try just around the corner for the Sharks, and this game will get just a little bit closer if that is the case. Now, Jaden Hendrickson goes off to Kerwin Bosch. Now to Werner Koch, who is now slotting in the midfield due to their HIA change for Ben Tupperwai it was. Oxnashad, another good solid tackle made by Connacht, keeping themselves onside at this current point in time. It's going to be now Tom Farrell, almost has to commit to that breakdown, but decides against it in the end. Jaden Hendrickson, now it's going to be the advantage for offside, so that was the mistake that they did not want to make. Now Bongi Manumbi carries forward. Oh, Finley Bilham's been cleaned out from way back from Marius Lowe. Grant Williams with the step now. Ball off to Marius Lowe, and he goes in for the try, and the Sharks are right back in it. And now that will make it just a tad closer in this matchup. This game, there's still a late tail in this matchup. Marius Lowe scores the try for the Sharks. That's going to be his first try of the night as well. But looking very good currently for Marius Lowe. Crashes himself at the line. I'm going to try and put this here. I was going to do some drawing on my board, but then I realized that my board is completely covered in all of the videos and whatnot that we have got to do for this weekend. So that did take up quite a bit of the weekend. We've still got more that we are going to be working on, including a preview for that match between the Brumbies and the Hurricanes that's going to be coming up, and it will be out in about 11 hours' time. That is on the QLad Sport channel. Be sure to check that out if you do like Super Rugby previews and also live streams that aren't just rugby. We will be doing them over there on that channel. But now Kerwin Bosch lining up this kick 45 minutes through this game currently. It's going to be another good opportunity. This game's actually going to be finished a little bit earlier than anticipated, I want to say, because theoretically they've got 35 minutes left of this game, which would take us through to about maybe you go 50, somewhere around there. And then we've actually got another 25 or so minutes before the next game does kick off, but we are going to be back for that game between the Stormers and Leinster. Should be an absolutely awesome one, and hopefully it does end up being a high-scoring, close affair as well. But nice work from Marius Lowe. One of the first touches we have actually seen from that man throughout the match, and he has been able to get himself over the try line. Conversion as well did go over for Kerwin Bosch, I should mention, as it was straight out in front. Going up high, Pepsi Butterlazy takes it nicely. Good low tackle on him by Heffernan. He's been busy. Or in fact, sorry, that wasn't Heffernan. That was actually Alex Wooten. Looked very similar to Heffernan. Now it's going to be kicked high from Jaden Hendricks. It's a good kick, but Mac Hansen has been able to line it up, and it looks like he wants to go for the kick in behind. Trying to chase this one. It's going to stay lingering in the air for a long time and versus Apalele Fasi. Apalele Fasi gets the better of it, and now he has got a huge amount of space. His acceleration as well. Someone's going to try and catch him. Ball on the outside of Grant Williams, just ragdolled almost into touch, and it's going to be an advantage. You'd have to wonder, is that going to be maybe a yellow card? Machuno now cuts his way forward, but the Sharks have got themselves some very good front football. Bongi Onbanambi drops the head. Hendrickson now wide slinging past Makazoli Mapimpi. Misses it. They are going back for the initial penalty. I believe it is for a high tackle on Grant Williams. And by the looks of it, the referee, I thought he was reaching for his pocket for half a second there. Okay. They're going to be checking this one to see whether or not it is worth a yellow or maybe even a red card, depending on how high it is. Apalele Fasi did very nicely to win that ball in the air. The two fullbacks colliding in the midfield. And then Apalele Fasi, he just backed his pace right. How high was this on Williams? Oh. No bend from John Porch. Nah. It gets him on the ball. If that got him in the head, that would have been probably the second yellow card for John Porch, but he's got an extremely lucky there. The penalty still stands, though, for the offside straight out in front of the posts. They're all asking for the card here by the looks of it. Okay, we've got a high tackle eventually, is the comment from Mike Adamson. Man has a very good way with words. And now from 5 meters out, I believe they will be kicking this one for the touchline. But they have got Sia Khaleesi in charge now, and he has decided that they want to play aggressively, go for the corner. At the moment, Thomas Tatoy sitting there on the touchline. He'll be disappointed that he's got the HIA that he did fail, so I don't think he'll be doing too much talking for the rest of the game. More than likely, his head will be throbbing currently, and he will have an even worse headache tomorrow morning when he does end up waking up. Currently now 5 meters out from the line, the Sharks, they want to get themselves another try here, and they certainly have got the potential, definitely with the 4-pack that the Sharks have got, to be able to do so. Going nicely to Gerbrand Grubbeler. It's another advantage now in favour of the Sharks. The ball has gone down at the back. Now around the side, Big Machunu getting close, using the legs to try and drive as close to the line as physically possible. Still going to be available for the Sharks. Now around the side, it is LaRue Roots. And they are getting extremely close now for the Sharks. Gerbrand Grubbeler made a short. Bongi Umbanambi does go over, and he scores the try for the Sharks, and they are fired up. Gerbrand Grubbeler was absolutely loving it. And Bongi Umbanambi does score the try. So the Sharks have started the second half a whole lot better than the first, with 2 tries straight away. And now the big question is, can they get themselves towards that bonus point? Connacht will be thinking the same. But they still need a couple more. It was a good leg drive from Gerbrand Grubbeler. And then Bongi Umbanambi just got over the line enough, using that extra little bit of weight that he has got. And it was a decent attempt initially from Heffernan, but then just ended up getting it wrong. They were trying to stop him from going over. I think Dennis Buckley went low, but unfortunately, too much length on that man, Bongi Umbanambi. And he does end up going in for the try. Now, Kerwin Bosch ready to line up this kick, currently sitting 49.5 minutes through this game, and the Sharks have now taken the lead for the first time. And in the second half, that one's gone over as well for Kerwin Bosch. So now the score is going to be sitting 24 points to the Sharks and 21 for Connacht. So this could be a very close game going down to the wire, perhaps, between these two sides. And everything is on the line for Connacht. They need a win, and they need a big one if they want any chance of making the top 8. In fact, I don't even know if 2 bonus point wins for Connacht will get them over the line. But they're going to be trying their best, of course. See if they can get the job done. But Bongi Umbanambi, well done from that man, the number 2 for the Sharks. Have they got Kieran van Veeren on the bench, out of curiosity? Yes, they do. Kieran van Veeren. And then also another player to look out for in the latter stages, probably going to be, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Nutshare, but I don't know who will come on the field for, because Fenta, Butler, and Sia Khaleesi are all playing very nicely currently. But Finlay Bilham, he is down with some sort of injury by the looks of it. He is currently flicking the finger. I don't know whether or not that is something to do with the pain, or whether that is like maybe a test that they are doing, but currently making his way out onto the field now. It will be their number 18 in the form of a man's name who I can't really say. It is Jack Ungier. Hopefully I said that correctly. Do let me know if I've got that wrong, though. Finlay Bilham, he might have broken his arm. Or he's done something bad to his arm anyway. I think he hyperextended the elbow, but luckily for him, it didn't completely hyperextend. And he just ended up kind of, I guess the best way to say is he braced himself on the ground and then had all the weight of Johan Grubbeler going right down there, which wouldn't have felt too nice. Even me doing that didn't feel too nice, to be honest. So Finlay Bilham going to be in a lot of pain. And now Ongia making his way out there onto the field. Now kicked off by Connacht. They need to find that momentum that they had in the later stages of the first half, or else this game could start to go a lot more in favour of the Sharks. That's been called as a maul for LaRue Roots. Does then break off, and now Jaden Hendricks are going to be looking for the box kick. So they're going back to that kicking game. The Sharks inside of their 22. He will be allowed to kick this one for the touchline. And it is a good clearance from Jaden Hendricks, getting right down towards the halfway line. That man has also been mentioned as a possible Bok for the near future. I know that he had a game up against, was it Argentina, and he ended up getting absolutely mammouthed in that tackle by Marcos Crema, I believe it was. Did end up injuring his hip for a little bit of time, but now it is going to be a throwing option for Connacht at the line-out time. That was a long yawn. Taken very nicely by Fafita. And also Connacht will win all the way from South Africa, Morrisburg. And there's also the vault. So welcome into Livestream I. I hope you are doing well. That one popped out, and it's going back in the side of the Sharks. Pepsi put the lazy, currently sitting 40 metres out. Do you have a score prediction? Also, Deval, do let me know. Now, LaRue Roots sitting there building phase after phase. Now, a little kick in behind doesn't quite work out for them. The Sharks, they have still got this one. They also only need one more try to get themselves a bonus point win for this matchup. That is if they go on to win, but they'll get a bonus point either way as long as they get themselves one more try. Grant Williams currently playing as the halfback, so it seems like him and Jaden Hendricks are rotating between halfback. That is actually something I wonder whether or not we will see in the future, besides having two options at halfback to keep it moving quickly. Oh, it was almost kicked out of the hands of the Sharks player, but now Kerwin Bosch finds the offload off the Bongi Umbanumbi, who's held it in one hand. Now back in his pace. Ball on the inside to Hendricks, who is going round. Flicks it off the back to Grant Williams, who is now sitting 10 metres out from the line. Brilliantly done in Sharks 32, Connacht 34. And there's us at the ball. I'm liking it. Will be a very good game to watch right down to the wire. And Connacht, they are the only side to have won up against all of the South African sides. This would be their last side that they do need to beat. Now, Werner Koch with a step bumping off the tackle of Blade. Big goal as a tackle, so they do have to release him. It's going to become the advantage. You can't do that for Connacht, and also Sharks 34, Connacht 38. And there says Usher for the prediction. Now, Jaden Hendricks are going for the chip and chase. It's not going to quite work out, or does it? No, it almost, geez, did his head get stood on? Is he all right? I think he is. Apalele Fasi getting in there, pushing one of the players. And Apalele Fasi, he's actually getting held back by the referee. Oh, Apalele Fasi, not too happy with Mac Hansen here by the looks of it. Okay, he is saying some profanities. Like they're saying, he probably doesn't want to get involved in the push and the shove. And if he does end up letting then maybe the temper get the better of him, could end up backfiring in the end of this match. But currently, Werner Koch, he was bumped off. I believe the initial one, who was it? I think it was Heffernan who went straight over the middle. Yes, it was. You can't do that. And it did end up going the way of the Sharks, but currently 5 metres out from the line now. And they will have another attacking opportunity in the form of Bongi Umbanumbi and a big Sharks 4-pack. 53 minutes gone in this game here. And now Gerbrand Grobler so march his way just a little bit further forward now. Waiting for it at the back. They will have to be careful not to give away an advantage here. Connacht. Looks like one of the players has gone down around the side. Bongi Umbanumbi. I think he was close. I think he's just short though. They have said now Gerbrand Grobler. You're not stopping him. And he has gone over now, and it is another try for the Sharks, and that will be the bonus point in favour of the Sharks now. And it's just whether or not they are getting the 1 point or the 5 into this match. But Gerbrand Grobler scores his second try of the match. Brilliantly done by the big man. I can't remember the last time he scored 2 tries in the same match. Gerbrand Grobler, but I tell you what, Bongi Umbanumbi was extremely close to the line. In the end, they did say he was just short. And Gerbrand Grobler goes over the line, breaking through his opposite number. Jeez, that was close for Bongi Umbanumbi, but I like the fact that he decided, right, it was close, but just in case it wasn't over, we're going to do a couple more phases. And there's that little bit of experience from Bongi Umbanumbi now. It's going to be a kicking opportunity. Currently 8 points difference between these two sides, and Kerwin Bosch will be lining up the kick. And this second half has been all Sharks at this point in time. They just don't seem to be missing any opportunities that Connacht have given them. Connacht have probably had about 20 or 30% of the ball in the second half. Now 55 minutes through, Kerwin Bosch about to line up this kick to try and give them a little bit more of a lead in this game for the Sharks. Taking his time, making sure that he does get this one right. And he does indeed. And the kick has gone over. And now the score is 31 points for the Sharks and 21 for Connacht. So currently, you'd have to say that the momentum, if there was ever any doubt about where this momentum in the second half is going, it's going to the home side here at Kings Park Stadium. They are loving it. And now Connacht have to once again kick this ball off. I think he was a little bit quick there running forward for John Porch it is, rather than Josh, of course. Now rolling this ball back. It looks like Jaden Hendricks are wanting this one. It's going to be rolling it back. And Hendricks kicks it high. And it has gone into touch about 30 or 40 meters out. We have got there go Sharks, says Jennifer Creel. And there, and currently the Sharks doing very nicely. They were down 10 points to 21 at halftime. And now they have been able to get themselves an unanswered 21 points against Connacht. Still another another 25 minutes left in this game, though. So it is always an exciting one to see exactly which way it could end up going. But the Sharks currently sitting on 31 points. They've got the bonus point in hand as well. That one was called as not straight by Mike Adamson. And now the Sharks are going to get themselves the line-out throw. And like they say, when it's going against you, things like that seem to happen. Now you get the not straight throws. Just have everything not quite working out for you. That is exactly what happened for Connacht in that one. Unfortunately, just a little bit wonky from Heffernan. Right, whoever they got on the bench, it is going to be Dylan Tierney Martin as the option that they could go with. And tackles made at the moment, 74 made by Connacht, 52 made by the Sharks. The Sharks currently, they have got themselves more points on the board and have been the much more clinical side in the second half. Jaden Hendrickson now feeding that ball in, waiting for it. It's gone down in the front rows. It's an advantage now to the Sharks, and it becomes a penalty for them as well. And that was for the number 18 just going down, unfortunately. Ungura, hopefully I said that correctly, has lost his footing up against Oxnashare. Has ended up giving away that penalty. So you'd have to say the penalty count has certainly also been bumping up for Connacht in the second half, giving away way too many penalties. Not really having enough of the possession for themselves, but currently now it is showing a replay of that scrum. Tell you what, that was probably a little bit unlucky from that angle. It almost looked like Oxnashare was the first one to go down. But the blame did go to Jack Ungura there, and now the line-out will be going the way of the Sharks from about 32 meters out. We'll go for this one, and it looks like they are just trying to work out how many numbers they have got in the line-out. Taken nicely that time, not straight from the Sharks. And at the moment, it seems to be both sides having a few not straights. And it is Heffernan actually taken off the field. That is for Dylan Tierney Martin, like I mentioned just a little bit earlier on. It looked like they probably weren't too far away off making that sub due to the fact that it had just gone a little bit wrong earlier on in the match. But now it is a scrum feed. Connacht need to make sure they get this one right, and they need to make sure that they are the next side that get themselves a try in this match. Currently, the South Africans, they sound fired up. And at that line out, it's a scrum. In that scrum, I should say. Currently, 58 and a half minutes through this game here. And it is going to be the scrum feed for Connacht. And it is Blade, who is in his 50th game already, scored himself a try earlier on in the day. That was actually in the first half, and it was a brilliant bit of play between him and Finley Bilham, who is now not out on the field anymore. Kicked down the short side. Found a bit of space. It's going to sit up for Apalele Fasi, though, who has done the step. Now he's going to get hit hard and put towards the touchline, only 5 meters out from the touchline now. And the Sharks have still got this ball on the halfway line. It is Big LaRue Roots, who's always tricky to put down. And also, Hamish in the background, you put those images, you download from Google and put it inside OBS Studio using green screen, right? And there's his coding. So pretty much, I don't actually use OBS. Oh, that's an awkward fall for Makazole Mapimpi. And now getting wrestled into Dutch, I believe that was the youngster Marmion. But yeah, I don't actually use OBS. I do use something called StreamYard, but pretty much it is with the green screen how I find an image. And then I do shove it behind me. So I've got Suncorp Stadium currently. Even though it's not in South Africa, I just really enjoy Suncorp Stadium's, like, kind of, I guess, appearance in the background. O'Halloran, he is on the field now, and that is for Wooten. So actually making quite a few early subs here for Connacht compared to the Sharks, who have only really made Matunu and also Grant Williams, and they were both due to injury that they did have to make those subs, but they've still got Kieran van Vieren off the bench in the later stages. Matunu, also Reni Alhehu, Lamaskhachne, Nochia, and Biota Chamberlain as another player that they can go to in the later stages. Currently scrum feed now in favour of Marmion, who is about to put this ball in. Oh, it's gone down on this far side once again. Right. So, seems to be an awkward one between Oxnashare and also it is Unguria. Hopefully I've said that correctly. I hear a cat. There he is. He is sitting up on the seat at the moment behind me. He does enjoy a little bit of late night rugby when it is on. I believe it's currently sitting 6 degrees here in New Zealand, so it's not exactly a hot night. So he will be enjoying the fact that I have kept the fire going for a majority of this matchup. And we'll have to try and stoke it up in between the next two live streams that we have got. So the next one that we are doing will be starting at 4:10 a.m. And that is the match between Leinster and the Stormers. That was an early push. And now... Okay, we've had really good scrums up until now. Let's go back to the standard that we had earlier on as a comment from Mike Adamson. So the scrum just doesn't seem to be quite going right, as we currently say. And Bongi Omanambi getting a little bit of attention to one of his wrists. I think that was the number 16, Dylan Tierney Martin. And now everyone's getting a refreshment. Right, they're actually having a drinks break here for the Sharks. I guess strategically, not a bad idea. If you were going to have an injury, you might as well get a drink out of it. I see Hiron Andrews there, and also I believe there was Quincy Mona, who isn't playing for this game, but he is coming from the bench for the Sharks, maybe in one of the future games, or he might be starting, depending on how they go. There we go, bit of water. There we go, we'll put that there, and hopefully it doesn't fall off. Now scrum once again. Next time it goes down, it's gone down in the front row, and now it's a penalty to Connacht. And that was on the loose head side once again. Bongi Ombanambi contesting, or actually protesting for that penalty. And Oxnashare. I think Bongi Ombanambi, they are saying that he was saying that Oxnashare was pulled down. Oxnashare was just going wherever he goes. He doesn't really talk. I think they'd said on the commentary, he just kind of gets on with the business. Currently 22 metres out, Connacht are going to have themselves the line out now, and still only 18 minutes left in this game. If they get a converted try soon, or even just a try, that will get Connacht right back in this contest, and they do love beating South African sides by only 1 or 2 points, possibly even less than, definitely less than 5 though, if they do end up winning it. I was going to say less than 2, but then I realized that's just 1, isn't it? Now going back across, it's a big run forward from their captain. Just not quite able to make his way through. In fact, they're saying it was O'Halloran for that one. Well, I believe he is going to be out the back line now. It's a nice little short pass, pop pass up and Vernakok. And also it was up a Lele Fussy. No, Grant Williams making the tackle now. Getting forced backwards. It is Tom Farrell. Aria Slow just forcing the players back a little bit further. The replacement hooker getting driven backwards. My cat has come over to see me. Wonder if he's going to pop up. No. Oh, that's a Sharks penalty there for that one as well. And that is going to be, I believe, for not releasing, from what I know. But the cat currently, I have to keep an eye on him because I do have the door closed at the lounge, so I might have to let him out at some stage soon if he does start meowing. Speaking of meowing, I think he's getting close to it. Kilwin Bosch now, he is going to be kicking it for the touchline. And that one doesn't find touch. So now Connacht are going to be able to continue this attack that they did set up for just before. It's a great run for brilliant tackle there. Oh, no, he might have hurt himself. No, Gerberan Grubele, he looks like he's going to be all right. That is a knock-on, though, against Connacht. And they are very disappointed in their handling throughout this game. It's just been one handling error after the next and also penalty after penalty. Gerberan Grubele, as soon as he tried to make that tackle, it looked like he got some sort of one that maybe was a stinger on the shoulder. But he well and truly committed. He flew through. So I wouldn't be surprised if he hurt himself for it. Yeah, boom, straight in. And I believe that arm just got stuck slightly behind. So he would have jarred it going like that. Another tackle. And now Gerberan Grubele just getting a little bit of medical attention on that shoulder. Made sure that he is going to be right. Gave the Iceman a tap on the shoulder. Said, cheers, mate. Should be good to go for the next 16 minutes. That is, if he gets the next 16, they've still got Reni Alhehu that they could go to if they do need to in this matchup. But like I mentioned, this is actually the first game that we are covering on the channel for the South African side of things. There was a game on earlier tonight, the Lions taking on Benetton, in which the Lions were victorious in that matchup. And there's another game later on tonight, and that will be Leinster taking on the Stormers, and what should be a very awesome fixture. I wonder, have we still got a Sebastian in here at the moment? Do let me know if you are still here, Seb. But it looks like there's a decent crowd currently in attendance. All of them have got their cell phone flashlights out, and they are currently just waving them about. It must be getting relatively dark in South Africa, even though I believe it's only 5:30 or somewhere around there, but I guess must be getting relatively close to nighttime over there. And that last game between the Stormers and Leinster might be played under darkness at Cape Town Stadium. But now it's going to be pushed forward nicely for the Sharks. They have been told to use it now. Passed off from Pepsi Butler. Goes flicking him on from Jaden Hendrickse. Little bit of a juggle there initially from Farrell. I believe that was Tianai Halloran. Has now been kicked into Dutch. I'm a little bit nervous because I see some random lines coming up on the screen. And the last time it did that, the game almost cut out for a little while. But it looks like now they have possibly fixed it. Yes, they have. All right, I believe that is, looks like Dowling. Yes, it is. Dowling coming on the field for the captain, Butler, at number 8. He's had a decent game so far, Butler. He's been everywhere. Unfortunately for him, though, that has also included being in the wrong place at the wrong time, getting penalised just a few too many times. But now the Sharks, they are going to have themselves a line out from about 30 metres out from their line, or from the Connacht line, I should say. Now LaRue Roots game for the Sharks. And there says Lottie now passing it back across. Jaden Hendrickse going to be tackled well. It's a penalty to Benetton, though. And it was slightly wrong. There's a jackler there and an extra roll as a goal. So Jaden Hendrickse has been penalised. He's actually been penalised a couple of times throughout this matchup. And he has also had that one that he did try and kick that was turned over, intercepted, and the try went the way of his opposition. So from this one, from the replay, Jaden Hendrickse, he was held, then he got up and went again with one more extra roll. And it did end up with him getting penalised. But now Connacht have got themselves another line-out opportunity. Still 10 points down with only just over 10 minutes go. Penalty to Benetton. Sorry, I said Benetton, didn't I? And I actually heard myself say Benetton. Sorry, Connacht. I think it's because of the green. And the last time I covered a game between Connacht or Benetton, it actually had the Benetton side in green as well. But now it's going to be a good run forward after the 22. I'll try not to call them Benetton anymore, but Connacht have got this ball back. Now passing across field, it is going to be Marmion. Nice attacking run. I can hear my cat. He is starting to meow. So I will have to let him out of the lounge in a very short moment. I'm hoping it is because of the fact that, well, I will get to let him out once there is a try for Connacht, would be quite nice, just to make this game a little bit closer. Now Marmion passes it short. Looks like there's a player stuck underneath. It was Oxnashare. He's been able to get himself out of there now, though. Now passing it back across one more time. It's going to be ripped away. Now in the hands of Tom Daly, having to try and push his way through. LaRue Roots gets crushed, though, and a brilliant tackle. Now Marmion goes back across. Wide cut-out pass from Fitzgerald. Oh, that looked high from Makazole Mapimpi. But they have said that it is staying in the field of play. Now Bongi Manambi off the upper Lelefasi. It's being wrestled down now. Bongi Manambi's ended up with it again. It has gone backwards. It's a little bit loose here at the moment. Oh, no, that's a broken nose. That is a broken nose, and that's going to be a lot of pain for the number 17. Or the way that he kind of went back, it looked like he should have a broken nose anyway, but it looks like he's going to continue. So he might have just gotten a stinger, but that one has gone into touch. But unfortunately, Matt Hansen was catching it on the way down. Right, time off. Bongi Umbanumbi getting some ice on the shoulder by the looks of it. And then also alongside that, I believe one of the players for Benetton, the way that he kind of held his nose, for Connacht, and timeout for Connacht, says Lottie. So, yeah, that ended up smacking back into Mackenzie Hansen. He wasn't ready to catch it, so unfortunately for him, did end up going into touch off him. But this one, it looked like an ugly one for the number 17. I believe it was Jordan Duggan. Don't even know if he stayed down. But now Lavaskakini going to be making his way out onto the field. And also Renio Hihu out there now as well. So a couple other changes. That is for LaRue Roots by the looks of it. Or is it Gerbran Krobler? It looks like Gerbran Krobler, in fact, might be staying out there. Yes, he is. Who is that? That is Henko Fenta, who is making his way off there now. He's had a decent game, a workhorse. And then Gerbran Krobler is the man who has gone off. Currently 10 points difference between these two sides. And still another 12 minutes to play. The clock has paused currently as we have got another injury that is lurking around currently. I have got a cat next to me who is getting a pat. He's being very soppy at the moment. He's got his head completely upside down, which I think he's going to get dizzy soon. Is he going to come up? No, he's not. He's just going to sit down there and look at me. Oh, let's over currently with the stoppage in time. We'll go through a few of the try scorers. Gerbran Krobler is one of those men. He has been able to get himself 2 tries throughout this match, which was very impressive indeed. And hopefully, we do get to see maybe 1 or 2 more tries in the last 12 minutes of this game. It might be a little bit tight and maybe not that likely, but I'd love to see it if we get 1 or 2 more. But I mentioned in this game that we were going to get to see 50 points. That is exactly what we've had, 52 at this point in time. And hopefully, there is going to be a few more extras in a very short moment. Taken nicely by LaRue Roots. They've just mentioned that LaRue Roots is 21 years of age. That is scary that a man that size is only 21. He's younger than me. He's got a bright future ahead of him. As we're showing now, Marius Lowe. Another bit of crash ball. Benetton. Connacht do want to get that ball back. I'm going to keep on saying Benetton because they played last up against the Lions. And I watched their game and I just ended up, I guess, you kind of end up doing commentary in your head sometimes when you're watching a game, just if you are getting ready to do another one, just to warm up. And also, where is your cats? Or where is your cat? It is, or it was down there. It is in front of the fire at the moment. Sitting there, and also we got their Sharks all the way. And then nice run from Apalele Fase. Kicks it in mind with a banana kick. It's going to be taken very nicely. And now it is Bongi. It's Makazole Mapimpi. In fact, who does have to release him. Now Grant Williams getting on the ball. It's going to be the penalty to Connacht now. What was that for? As the comment from Apalele Fase. He's got to be careful talking back to the ref or he might get himself marched back another 10. Apalele Fase just a little bit disappointed. He ended up doing a high five and his finger bandaging did end up coming off in the process. But now they are going to be going for touch here once again. Conor Fitzgerald kicking for the touchline. Still only 10 minutes left. That didn't look like a good strike of the ball at all. That hasn't found touch. And that is another mistake from Connacht. And now kicking it up extremely high. Grant Williams after this one. He likes his chances. He doesn't get to it though. He does end up taking the mark. Oh, and not too happy with that one was John. And that one, John Porch it was, as he was taking on also. We look at their love arts from Lottie Smith as well. He might end up coming back over after sitting in front of the fire for a little bit. I see that there's a massive crease in my green screen, which is not ideal. But luckily it is a little bit lower than myself, so you can't see it. But now Grant Williams end up kicking that one down towards the touchline, but he did end up tackling him after taking the mark. He gets a shove in the head for his troubles there, Grant Williams. Okay, they're saying Connacht might have a bit of a blood bin. It wouldn't surprise me if it is Jordan Duggan, just because I think he broke his nose, or it looked like he broke his nose earlier. Who is that? I think that's Jordan Duggan, isn't it? Okay, so he's going to have to patch up the nose, and it is Jordan Duggan. Yeah, he got absolutely smacked earlier on, and unfortunately for him, he does need a new jersey for Israel. He's complaining a little bit, but there is a little bit, and 2 tries for the conversion, or 2 tries for Connacht. And there says Lottie, yep, they have just got the 2 that they have been able to score so far. If they get another 2 here, they will probably more than likely win this game and also receive a bonus point, which could be huge for them. And even if they don't win this game, getting within 7, I think, would be a great monumental achievement for them, but they would have loved to be a lot higher. Definitely with it being 21 points to 10 at halftime. Another rolling maul for the Sharks. They have been told to use it once now. And also, name of your cat. My cat's name is Billy. And he is actually one of the channel emojis that we have got now. Good run from Pepsi. Puta lazy starts to drive the legs. Now going back, Jaden Hendricks. Loose ball sitting up now nicely. It's going to be a great step from Makazolima Pimpi with great acceleration. Comes great responsibility, and he's almost been able to find his way through. Now Jaden Hendricks, jumping into the tackle. So it is going to be the knock on. Now passing it back, and I believe, yes, they are going back. Well, this one as well. Unfortunately for him, Labaskakani just ended up dropping that ball. And Connacht, they've got 9 minutes to try and get into this one. They seem so close, yet so far away at the same time. And at the last little while. But the next game that we are covering on the channel, it does start at 4:15 a.m. That is in New Zealand. So it is currently in 30 minutes time is when the next kickoff will be taking place. And then alongside that, we will be starting our commentary 5 minutes early to let you guys know exactly who is in the squads, who are the players to watch out for, and also a bit of a prediction of who will be able to win it between the Stormers and Leinster. But that is going to be an exciting game coming to you guys in 30 minutes time. Scrum feed once again now. And Connacht, they are going to have themselves the scrum feed now. They are behind. At this point in time, it's gone down in the front row. Sharks penalty. Massive for them there. And also Billy. And there says Lottie. But Bongi on Manambi, I believe he wants the 3. Like I was saying, winding down the clock wouldn't be a terrible option for the Sharks at this point in time. And they are going to be taking on the post. So now because of it, it will be about 7 minutes left. And Connacht are going to need 2 converted tries to be able to go on and win this match. Just not going to be easy by any sense of the word. I'm looking forward to seeing Leinster versus the Stormers. For some reason, I feel like Leinster, now that they've had that game last week, I think they'll be a lot better this week. And it should be a very entertaining one. And indeed, but now currently, Kerwin Bosch lining up this kick. He's got 35 seconds, so I don't think he'll be in any rush to take this kick. I think he'll be using up about as much time as he can. He's currently sitting 5 from 6 kicks. And hey, howdy, AO in there. Says Katie, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. And also trying a drop kick draw. And there says Lottie, although now that they are going to be taking on the 3, if Kerwin Bosch gets that, it does extend them just a little bit further. What time is it in America, Katie? Do let me know, because it must almost be a decent time, because it's a terrible time in terms of time zone over here, which normally means you guys are sitting not too badly. Kerwin Bosch takes the kick, uses up all of the time possible, and does end up getting the kick over. So now the score is 34 points for the Sharks. And 21. Sorry, I'm late. Hope you're all well. Says Katie Dixon. No worries at all. We have still got plenty more tonight. We've actually got the USA women's side in a game that we are going to be covering. Hello, Billy. What are you up to, Puss? Are you coming up for a geese? No. Just yeah, that's a cord. Be careful, don't yank that. That's the microphone cord. Now, Lois Kakne taking that one down, and now the ball bounces out the back. Jaden Hendricks are off to LaRue Roots, and it's 9:45 a.m. and the ideas are Hamish. There's Katie Dixon and also the Billy emojis from Katie Dixon as well. But now Jaden Hendricks are going to be rolling this ball backwards. My cat currently, I don't know what he wants really. I think he wants food, but then he might also just want me to put another piece of wood on the fire, something else that he quite likes. And that one has gone into touch now and went straight sideways. And it's going to be a Connacht line out now. I'm sitting extremely comfy. And I've realized I'm not even really central, am I? So I might have to move that a little bit. There we go. That's better. Now that I'm central, I can sit as comfy as I like. I've got one of my legs kind of out to the side. I feel like I am in a very relaxing position. Now I'm about to throw this one in. It is Dylan Tierney Martin. Goes to the back, taken beautifully by Connacht, and now with another attack and run. That ball's popped out, And it's back on the side of the Sharks now. Kieran Van Veeren goes off into the hands of Makazole Mapimpi. Good pace shown. 40 metres out from the line now. And but Sharks players actually committing straight through the middle of the breakdown. There was no one countering them though. So they were able to do so. Machuno able to protect that ball now. Marius Low goes back to Apalele Fuasi. Goes for the kick in behind. Just trying to play the territory game. It's close to the touchline. It's going to be well done. He tries to step, and he's optimistic. That's going to be risky from O'Halloran. Now only 5 metres out from the line. They are still just going to have this one available. It looks like a wrestling match taking place between two Connacht players, or a Connacht player and a Sharks player, I should say there. Now, kicker has kicked it. Hence the roll, and now Fitzgerald has been able to clear his lines, but it's not the best kick. They're only going to be about 10 or 15 metres out from their own line now. And they have got 4.5 minutes left in this second half. They have got the bonus point already for the Sharks. So all they need is to pretty much close out this game. Norchia now making his way out onto the field. And the next game, like I mentioned, it is going to be the matchup between the Stormers and the Leinster. Leinster and the Stormers are the two sides that are playing. I almost said Sharks, but I somehow caught myself. That's all right. Now currently 76 minutes through. Okay, that was relatively up there from Machuno for the tackle. I think they might be giving it a little bit more of a look here. So the TMO's looked at it and said that it's play on, and I don't think Tierney Martin can quite believe it. Can quite believe it. All right, Pepsi Butler, he was the man who was taken off. He's got another black eye at this stage. That's the thing. A lot of these players, like we saw the one for the player earlier on for, I almost called it Ireland, but Connacht getting it up here, and Schlinster. This is KG. Yeah, a bit of a fancy way of saying it, isn't it? I feel like that's the thing. Everyone wants to shush Leinster, but Leinster normally do their talking out on the field, don't they? They're just able to score a lot of tries, and perhaps in this one, with their slightly, I guess, less experienced side, it would be great to see them go well up against the Stormers. Now passing across, it's a great run for Machuno, finds the offload. You're not stopping LaRue Roots from there, and he is over for another try in favour of the Sharks, and that will put the icing on the cake for the South African, and also at least it will not be shushed. And this is Katie LaRue Roots. I wouldn't try and shush that man. He's 21 years old. He is younger than me. He's a good foot and a bit taller than me. It's probably like, I don't know, 40, 50 kgs heavier than me. At least. Actually, probably more than that now that I think about it. Probably almost 1 3/4 for himself. But nicely done from LaRue Roots. And now only 3 minutes left in this game. Kerwin Bosch, he will once again take this one very strategically and wait as long as possible to be able to kick it. They don't want to use any extra energy that they don't have to for this matchup. So Kerwin Bosch, 44 seconds left on the conversion clock. I wouldn't be surprised if he stands here. Okay, he's kicked it over. I like that from Kerwin Bosch. He could have easily stood there for ages, but that would have probably annoyed a lot of people. But now moving into the 40s here. At halftime, 21-10 in favour of Connacht. Now this game is sitting at 41-21 in favour of the Sharks. So the home side really finding their momentum in the second half. And Connacht are yet to score any points in the second half. The match was a great job, Hamish. Thanks. Morning, everyone from the Gold Coast. There's Asho there. I hope you are doing well. Are you excited for the women's sevens that is coming up? Asho, do let me know. So I guess Gold Coast, what time are you guys sitting at the moment? Is it like 1:54 a.m. or have I got that round the wrong way for what your time zone is? Maybe somewhere around there. I know that it's currently 3:54 a.m. here in New Zealand. So we're relatively late at night time or early in the morning, depending on how you look at it. It's kind of that half glass full, half glass not full. That wasn't the sentence. Now waiting for it. John Porch, the cat, is once again going on a bit of a journey. He's decided, okay, he's climbed up on a box. He's decided that the box is the perfect place to sit now. As heat rises, so the higher he is, the warmer he is. Matt Ganson now down the wing. Little chip and chase. It was only a little dribbler, but it did make its way over the top. Now Kerwin Bosch, attack and run from him, pinning the ears back. Got plenty of pace, trying to link up. Bang, he was hit hard. And the tackle by O'Halloran. Now Grant Williams passing it back across. Gonna be Notchia, hard man to stop when he gets his legs pumping. Marcos Olema Pimpy tries to throw it back on the inside. He actually threw it straight into the Connacht player. So Notchia takes it quickly. And now it's a big shot on Lavaskachny, finds the offload. They don't want to take this one to the breakdown. 1:54 a.m. Looking forward to the island coming to New Zealand in July. And we'll be over for a weekend. So there's Asho there. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting one. And we are covering all of those games on the channel as well. So if you are new to the channel, anyone, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, which we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers over there. If you do want to help us out, that is the link to that channel. Be sure to check it out, as we do post our previews for Super Rugby over there, and also we've got a few other videos planned for on there coming very soon. But currently 79 minutes through this game. We've got 15 minutes to our next live stream. We'll be starting, ladies and gentlemen, and that will be the matchup taking place between Leinster and the Stormers. That should be a great game, and we are covering that on the channel. Alongside that, we will also have some more action on the channel coming up, and that will be the matchup taking place between, what's he doing now? He's found a different box. That box isn't very sturdy, is it? No. He's just going on a bit of an adventure at the moment, the cat. Interesting choice of where he's decided to go there, but now currently only another 3 seconds left in this game. Connacht, they're just fighting for pride at this stage. They know that they can't win the game from here. And the Sharks, they just want to kick this ball out if they get the opportunity. Now passing it on the outside. Nicely taken by John Porch. They think there's a chance for one more try in this matchup, perhaps. But it might be too little too late for Connacht. Nice little pop us. Oh, okay. That's a penalty. It's a lift. They've taken the quick tap. So I believe that could have actually been a card if they wanted it. But they decided against that. And Duncan D's nuts. And also my best mate, Craig in Canberra, is Mac Hanson's dad. Hence the biased early and cool. Really? That's pretty awesome. So I guess, what does he think of him playing for Ireland rather than Australia? Is he happy in that regard? Because is dad's Irish or his mum's Irish? Do let me know, Asho. Now going back for Connacht, still hanging on to this one for just a little bit longer by the looks of it. And the roly-poly taking place. My cat is right next to me currently. He is currently asking for a pat. They've got the advantage here once again for Connacht. That's a penalty. And also, good evening, Amish. I just checked in to see the score. Happy Shark supporter. Thanks once again for the commentary, says Josh. Thank you very much. Or Josh, sorry, I should say. And do appreciate you being here, mate, for this one. We've got Leinster versus Stormers just around the corner. My cat currently is just sitting right next to me. They've kicked it for the corner, Connacht. And they have got another attacking opportunity to try and get themselves over the try line in a very quick succession for one more. This would be their first points of the second half as well if they can get themselves over the line. Or is it going to be the Sharks who will be able to get themselves the line out turnover perhaps? Gone long. Taken nicely by Connacht. Nice set play starting to open up now. Gone down. Oh, it's a little knock on. And that is going to be the end of the game. And also, we have got there, I was at Western Province versus Cheetahs game. It was very boring. And thanks for the stream, manager. Says Katie Dixon, and got a pick with Stain, and number cover. Those says BDG. And also, he's played both. He played under 20s for 2, says Asho. And there have it. Unless, I guess that is going to be the end of this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tune in for our next one that is starting in only 12 minutes' time. And that will be the matchup taking place between Leinster and the Stormers. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for the Wallabies. His mum is Irish and has been in Australia since she was 7. Says Asho's there. Unless, thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next